Hi, you are listening to the Father Support Network podcast. This podcast is for single fathers and fathers in general. On this podcast, we educate, inform, guide, encourage, and help fathers navigate the complex challenges of maintaining contact and healthy relationships with their children after separation or divorce. Your host is Dr. Michael Uwangba. Michael Uwangba is a father of three who successfully fought for the right of his children to have their father in their lives.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Father Support Network. Today, I want to react to the Netflix crime series, Adolescence, that is making wave and getting mad reviews, critically acclaimed, positive reviews. I had the opportunity to watch this series over this weekend, and I just wanted to, first of all, I'll say it's a very good series. It speaks to different facets of our society, of the family, of familiar relationship between parents and a young children. And also talk about some other wider issues. But by and large, this crime series, without the summary is a young 13-year-old boy, James Miller, killed another young girl in his class, and the whole argument is this young boy was motivated by an online or radicalized by online groups or online ideology, such as the red pill, some idea of toxic masculinity, and they mention Andrew Tate as the poster child or postman of such radical ideologies. How the ideology of the 80-20 or the ideology of the incel, where young men or young boys feel have this hate, or under the idea of misogyny against women, or feel like they're not attractive or attracted to women, and they will never have a woman, and they become anti female, and just stay without having relationship with a woman, and then spew all of that hate against a woman. And the whole idea was this young boy was radicalized by such extreme ideologies. But let me start off from different scenarios, and because I'm gonna do this in relation to how it concerns us at the Father Support Network. One, I want to talk about the Detective Bascomb and the relationship between Detective Bascomb and his son, Adam, senior high school, in the same school that Miller attended. So we can see that the film started off with the son calling him and wanted to skip school. So eventually it unfolded that Adam, the son there, was, he's being bullied in school. And when we then see Detective Bascom going to the school to try and get an understanding of why James killed the young girl and tried to get down to the roots of the murder weapon, you begin to see the scene where Adam and the dad spoke, and where Adam was the one that actually informed the dad about the Instagram posting, the symbolism of the red pill, and how the incel culture, and how that could have been the motivation behind the whole thing. Now, my take there is one: fathers are very crucial, and that's what we've been talking about. Fathers are very vital to the composition of a child, either a son, or in this case it's a son, or daughter. We need to be in the life. He gives them confidence. So when a child when the father is not in a child's life, because it looks like the detective Inspector Bascom was very busy. There was a scene where the son says, "Oh, you call other people's son, you don't call me son." And then the quality time that you spend with your child, and the words of affirmation, the matter, they go a long way to make them confident, to building them that structure, to give them that ability or capacity to bear or to stand up to bullying. Because again, even in the Jamie case, there's a case where you see this scenario where she was having being interrogated, because that looks more like interrogation, or like being set up with a psychologist, the female psychologist. See where she say, "Okay, I'm ugly. I feel like nobody's going to accept me." Maybe talking about in a romantic sense. And then there's a different case in Jamie's house where they present a more balanced family, where there's a bit of love in family. But then again, it still comes to then in that situation where we could look where the father, Eddie, I think Eddie Miller, was the last scene where he was in the son's in Jamie's room, and then he was talking about crying and say maybe he failed, and they asking with the wife if they've done enough, if it's their fault, if they've done enough. Now, it's a combination. Whatever forces someone to I don't think, first of all, I don't think, if I look at it critically, look at the murder, if that was the case, someone can murder someone and it's not premeditated. But because okay, you had a knife, to go, and then this also mirrors the larger society, what we face in our society this day and age, where young people are just killing. But this is what I want to say. We were once 13. I grew up in a very terrible, tough neighborhood, and my mom raised many of us. My mom had plenty children, and they were able to give us a balance, a good structure. So it was one where we had values. It was more like a religious values that presented those values, and then education was very, very key in my household. But then again, was physical discipline. There was other discipline, but it was balanced. In this day and age, you could say that era was excessive. The beatings we took, the physical discipline that we took, but I didn't turn out bad, So you might say in this, if you compare it in relation to this day and age, it might be been too much to some extent. But I guess my point is, the family is very, very key. The society might be terrible, but then again, what I'm trying to say is, as a teenager, once you get into the adolescent age, it's got nothing to do. Sometimes I think we as a society, we need to face, we're trying to find, which is good, we're trying to find a reason why young people in our society, where there's a prevalence or high rate of knife crime, and but then again, we're presenting these facts in a way, because mostly will be boys to boys, mostly will be in the gang culture, the knife culture is like when young boys are joining gang, or are being manipulated by older boys. But then again, we've also seen where, because I was reading the context, or what motivated the writing of the film, and it gives you talking about the young girl, school girl, that was stabbed in Liverpool, and there's a mention of another one in Croydon here. But yeah, once you get to adolescent age, I remember when I got to 13 years of age, you become a bit rebellious, and it's just you're getting to a period of puberty. You get to a period where I call it the lost years. When you become a teenager, it's the lost years. These are the years in between childhood, the innocence of childhood, and the the harshness, I must say, of adulthood. So you're in between, you're stuck in between. And it is a time when you're being molded. It is a time where you're relieving yourself of that, or you're coming out from that fairy tale of childhood, right? It's that protective guide, and you're beginning to navigate that complex web of independence and independence. You're going to the point where you're getting independence, where you're independent. So it is a very tough period for any child. Anybody that goes through adolescence, there's usually times when children become stubborn, resistant to authority, and it's not just because we want to resist. It's just that conflict between submitting to authority and gaining independence. And if it's not properly managed, it could lead. But I think in this James Miller case, it could also be something that was inspired by just the spur of the moment. There's this crime of passion as well. This would be somebody, you get angry, somebody's bullying you. It's not necessarily a crime that is motivated by radicalization. It's not. So we were exposed. I'll give you an instance. Growing up, and when my parents joined this church at 4 years old, and from a religious, not even from any, they felt like it was the TV then, and this community felt like the TV, whatever it is they were showing in the TV, is corrupting. It's going to corrupt the mind of the people. And then they had this place where we had my parents, we had to give our TV away. I was just only 4 years old, and I grew up without a TV in the house. Now, fast forward to how many years after then, the same community, same church now watches TV. What changed from then to then? Did the Holy Bible change? Did that community change? Now, so what it means is, whatever it is that was corrupting in that TV as well, you see it in your face. You come out in your face in the society. Whatever they're trying to protect for, you could see it right there in your face. Whatever it is on TV is there. So it's not a question of regulating this. We can over-regulate and then push people still into crime. That won't solve nothing. So I think it's a lot of better orientation, right? And let me take, for instance, take the Andrew Tate and the Red Pill. I've listened to some of this, and if you peel out some of the, because I was watching Piers Morgan the other day with Candace Owens, and if you peel out some of the excessive braggadocious approach, some of the things that might look shocking in terms of the views that Andrew Tate and some of the Red Pill the position they take. You look at some of the things that this, where you talk about a man and say, look fit, and then when they say to you that you need, as a man, to be able to attract a woman, you need to be the setting. You need to look fit, you need to look decent, you need to have some decent, some of those things, if you look at it, peel away some of the sexism, that they're not really, what's that word now? They're not really atrocious. So for us to leave out and then leave us some of the, look at things in a very holistic way, and then take just an aspect of it and say this is to blame, I think is unfair. I think we're not ready. We need to have conversation. You look in America, for instance, I was saying it, Donald Trump won the election because those that run the campaign rode on that wave, rode and capitalized on the force gender war, on the force as whilst Kamala Harris was like for reproductive stem. So there is a genuine fear, whether real or unreal, of men being emasculated. This has got nothing to do with Andrew Tate and the rest. And that's why you see during the campaign, you see that this has emboldened even Donald Trump itself. You see, even after he's won the election, you see he's calling out this was just Joe Rogan. The latest one was the Irish guy, MMA guy, McGregor, what's his name, coming to the White House. And then McGregor is also someone that has been recently accused of rape. And then you see again, people feel like, oh, and he feels to himself that he's innocent. So you see a broader kind of like sense of men's rights, men's needs are being seen as inferior or not taken serious. It's put at the background. So you see all of that going on. We need to talk about it. We need to talk, where did it stem from? Did it stem from Andrew Tate? No. It stems from long years as well of toxic femininity. It stems from young years of, women calling men scrub. Stems from long years of women expressing that independence. It also stems from, you see it in the songs, you see it in the pop culture, you see where women are gaining certain economic empowerment, and they're not, and then you see gradually that the male and female, the dynamics relationship have been broken then from the 60s, from the time when you have the contraceptive piece, from all of those times, from the times when women are beginning to get economic power. You begin to see all of that degeneration in society. We need to look at all of those history. All of these add to it. So until we do that, until we sit down in society and say, have a reset, we need to reset those dynamics. We need to look at all of these dynamics and look at it. It's a multi-factor issue. It's not an issue of incel or issue. That's just one aspect of it. So that's like scapegoating that come in and say this is it. And that will relate more to how we were growing up, and then they scapegoated. The TV was scapegoated, and the TV looks like, oh, we blame the TV and all that, so the TV was the one corrupting. No, human beings. And that's why they say the heart of man is desperately wicked. We can know it. Every human being has that tendency towards good or evil. Every human being. But when you create an environment that enables it, when you create an environment that also discourages it. So we need to say, again, lastly, I want to talk about the discipline in the house. My mom raised many children in a harsh environment. I'm telling you, where you're seeing all kinds of influences that can influence you negatively. I saw families that went into drug. I saw families that went into armed robbery, and the woman lost all of the kids. We grew up in that same environment, and none of my mom's kids turned out that way, because you know why? They give the right values. There's discipline as well. We don't take away the right of the parents to discipline the child. Well, we need to have a balance. There was a balance. I love the dynamics. Lastly, I love the dynamics of Jamie's household, because you could see a bit of love. That kind of dynamics matters. It will be where you could put your feet down as a parent. You should be able to exercise discipline. So we need to have a reset as a society and rebuild the family and make the family the core of the society. The family is the core. Once the family is sick, the whole society is that. And then we need to start talking about men and female relationship and stop driving a wedge between and create unnecessary war, unnecessary divisions between a male and a female. Every individual, male or female, has the right, has to be given an enabling environment to exercise their gifts or develop their skills and do so. And I grew up in a house where I do chores, I do all kinds of stuff. There's no male female chores, but we need to just understand what our sex is. There are some rules that there's some, it could be some nurturing abilities that come based on the biological makeup. There's also, but most of the things that come is just sociological influences. It's got nothing to do with biological. But I think we need to start a conversation of male-female relationship or dynamics in our society. We need to have a reset. Until then, we won't tackle this. I don't think we're being honest. We need to be honest about the multi-factor roots, and then, yeah, we might be able to crack why young people are taking it to arms and the prevalence and high rates of this. But enough for now, stay blessed, and then, we do more of this. Cheers.